Good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. My tenacious co-host, Jeff Beals, is taking the weekend off. However, I am pleased to have our friend and very active Grow Omaha media contributor, Brad Williams, join me today as co-host. You know Brad as the creator and talent behind Brad Williams Photography. He does our Grow Omaha Brad Williams construction updates. And he's also a partner and shareholder in E&A Consulting Group. He is one busy boy. Welcome back, Brad.
Hey, good morning. I was downtown this morning working on the next Grow Omaha construction update, so look for it at the end of the month.
We can always count on Brad Williams. Check out bradwilliamsphotography.com because there's some great things, and the holidays are coming up, and there's great presents. If you need to fill a wall with something beautiful, a skyline or a nature scene, Brad's got it all, and they're all on his website. Also joining us today in the studio is a gentleman who has been on Grow Omaha a number of times over the last 22 years, but I was lucky enough to catch him when he had a spare time this morning. Steve Jensen, Mayor Ewing's Deputy Chief of Staff for Economic Development and Development Services, as well as a former Omaha Planning Director who has dedicated his career to serve our great city, is going to talk to us about several aspects of the streetcar projects, affordable housing, the urban core, and whatever else we can get out of him. Great to have you back, Steve.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, many thanks to our title sponsors, Dingman's Collision Center, great friends of mine, and they do great work for you. It's been family-owned since 1996, 4 locations, Northwest, Midtown, Omaha Southwest, Papillion, at 120th and Maple. They also have a mechanic shop. They have been the best of Omaha every year since 2005. Auto body, paint repair, mechanical. They will restore your vehicle's performance with manufactured approved repair procedures. They work with your insurance companies. They don't take any crap from insurance companies. They get you what you need, and they will serve you right. And they have a new location coming soon in Gretna. Our other title sponsor, Cheer Athletics, is doing great things with huge plans for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have kids or grandkids who want to develop tumbling and stunning skills, you should check out Cheer Athletics Omaha. Go to caomaha.com to register your athlete and join the All-Star Cheer Revolution. Located at 14620 Gold Coast Road in Papillion, Cheer Athletics Omaha competes at the highest level of all-star cheer. It's the only one of 19 cheer athletics in the entire world. Did you sign your kids up, Brad?
No, not yet. They're busy with a lot of activities right now. Cheer's not one of them yet.
There is plenty of time. It is now time for the development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage Company. We talk a lot about Eagle Mortgage Company. Go to eaglemortgagecompany.com. Holly Schneiderwin and her team of mortgage specialists, especially with the recent drop in federal mortgage rates. They are not a bank. What they do is go see them. Doesn't cost anything. Go see them at 114th and Davenport, or again, go to eaglemortgagecompany.com and ask them for a consultation. They will tell you what you need to qualify for a loan. So when you go house hunting, you have a pre-approval letter in front of you, and they shop the banks, and they can get you the best rate. So Eagle Mortgage will do you right. Well, let's see what's going on in our fair city, Brad. I had the privilege of going to the groundbreaking yesterday afternoon at 204th and Q, new Baker's Marketplace. There's going to be 2 new Baker's Marketplace grocery stores coming to Omaha. Now, Baker's bought some of the buildings where Albertsons are and things like that over the years. But what people don't realize, it's been 26 years since we've had a new Baker store open in Omaha. You know what they are?
When the last 2 were?
Yeah.
Pepperwood and Lakeside.
And there were a number of regional representatives and local representatives, and there was kind of a battle. You looked up the building permits for Lakeside at 71st and West Center Road, and Pepperwood, 156 and West Dodge. They both they both opened in '99, right?
99, yes.
So 26 years ago. But which is interesting. So either one of those could have been the last one. We'll call it a tie because even the audience was split at the press conference. This is unique because this will be 123,000 feet. It should open in 2026. It is part of the Kensington Park development. And when they say Baker's Marketplace, it's never been done before. It's about 55,000 square feet larger than a traditional Baker store. You think they're trying to get some of that business back from Hy-Vee?
Well, it's like they're trying to compete with the world's largest Hy-Vee there in Gretna.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other store, they did a pretty quick deal. Fleet Farm was threatening to come to Omaha, and over the last 10 years, and we reported on it, and then they were falling out, and finally, I think the one over by the world's largest Hy-Vee on 192nd and 370, I know a lot of people are looking at it. I wouldn't be surprised if that became a Target or something. That's just my speculation. I don't know what's going on over there. But we do know that an affiliated company, Dillon Stores, which is Baker's, and they announced it yesterday as well, is about a 100,000 square foot store at 182nd Avenue and West Maple Road. And if you go to Grow Omaha and you see some of our back issues, there's about 180,000 square foot sports facility that is trying to get turnback tax, and that will go right at 180th and West Maple. It's the same people that have that UBT behind Menards in Elkhorn. So we'll see if that develops, but another huge sports complex, and that's almost as big as a Walmart Supercenter.
You know, I recently went by a Kroger out in Colorado, and it looks just like this new Baker's, and from the street, it is huge. So I'm sure this one's going to have a great big presence on 204th Street.
And another reason to talk to me about that Baker's is Spencer Morrissey and I at NAI MP Dodge, we have two pad sites right next to it, 205th and Q Street, for sale, for lease, for build to suit. We can do drive-throughs, we can do car washes, all kinds of things. So we have two lots there. And then across the street, right next to the Sunshine, it's called South Streams, we have another lot, and I have a client that wants to sell it, and we can do a drive-through there as well. So any real estate brokers, any franchisees, any owner users, give Trent a call because I need to pay for what I'm doing. And so we appreciate that.
Let's jump all the way to the other end of town and talk about the Lawrence Gardens. Lawrence Gardens is undergoing a transformative project, according to a Facebook post by AO and local architecture firm. They're building a wooden flyway that will basically be a new entrance to the garden. The project consists of an elevated walkway from the Visitor Center and Education Center to the Garden of Memories. The walkway will allow visitors to be separated from the staff and vehicles and also give you better views of the gardens. And this will be cool because it will, when you go to the gardens, you walk down that huge hill,
Right.
have a great day in the gardens, then you got to walk back up. This will kind of level that out a little bit more. And another project that we didn't mention that I found out about is they are repainting, when you come in Omaha and you see that huge Welcome to Omaha sign with the Big Boy steam locomotive. Kennefic Park. They're repainting the Big Boy right now, too. So if you come by, you'll see people up there working, and part of the locomotive is in like a primer gray.
I wonder what they're doing up there. And also, have you taken your young kids to the new playground, the $13 million playground?
They've been there, not with me. My mother-in-law took them.
Okay, I was going to say, kids are going to talk at school, if they have and they have nots.
They have been to all of these amazing playgrounds we have in this town.
Have they been to the new one at Zarinsky?
My son has.
Okay, good. Well, you got life covered for your kids. I appreciate that. And also, let's go out west again. The people have heard about the Good Life districts and Avenue 1 Good Life District, 192nd and West Dodge Road. This has been a project for a couple decades that the developers have owned the land, but they got approved as an applicant, and it appears they're getting closer to construction. Jasper Stone plans to build the district's first two retail buildings northeast of 192nd and Burke Street, so south of Dodge. One of the proposed buildings is 13,500 square feet, while the other is about 2,800 square feet, according to the City of Omaha Planning Department documents. No occupants have been officially announced, but what do you think could fit in a 13,500 square foot building when you look at those plans?
Well, I know some of our loyal Omaha listeners have commented on Facebook that they're hoping for a fan favorite grocery store there, that one of the smaller grocery stores in the metro, but we don't know anything as far as if that will happen or not.
It sounds like, I mean, it looks like the plans look like Trader Joe's. I've heard some people say that, and I know that people have chimed in that they would love to see that. Avenue 1 is among 5 Good Life districts, special zones for large-scale, unique retail and entertainment developments that are designed to attract visitors and create jobs and tourism. With the state collecting only half of its regular sales tax, so 2.75% of the sales tax of the 5.5 from the state's portion goes back to the developers of the projects for worthwhile projects as an incentive. In addition to Avenue 1, West Omaha, the other Good Life districts are Gretna, Bellevue, Grand Island, and Kearney. We haven't seen a lot going on in Gretna yet, and I know that they've got all the mechanisms in place, and so there's been a lot of proposed by a couple of developers out there, and some of these projects are so huge, you wonder how they can pull them together. It seems like Bellevue is off to a great start with their Bellevue Bay Water Park.
Yeah, I haven't been by Bellevue Bay in person, but I was told that maybe the foundation of the water park was already going in, so it's a good sign to
Should we hit one more thing before we go to the break? How about this one?
Sure. Let's talk about the Omaha Riverfront. The Gene Leahy Mall part of the Omaha Riverfront is already been there for 3 years, and so that means they are switching out the 5 sculptures along the north end of the park. Earlier this week, crews came and they removed the sculptures that everyone have been admiring for the past 3 years, and they had started installing the new ones. The first one I saw looked like a big, giant red snake. So it's going to be cool to get down there and see something different.
It's really, public art is something cool. You know, you can look at those Council Bluffs, Edward Scissorhand things, wherever they are at 24th and I-80, and have your own opinions on them, but at least it gets people talking. And so when we come back after this short break, we're going to be with Steve Jensen with the mayor's office, who's going to go over all kinds of things regarding the streetcar, affordable housing, urban core stuff. And you are listening to Trenton Magid and Brad Williams right here on the Grow Omaha Show, 1110 KFAB. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Hello, Grow Omaha fans.
2 and 2, is that an exact?
No, that was, what was that, like, what game show was it? Like
2 minutes, 2 seconds. Wasn't that family? That wasn't a $25,000 pyramid, was it?
Chuck Woolery, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
How do I know that?
Guys.
I'm too young to know that.
Because we brought it up before, because that's what Tim will say.
Oh, is that what it is?
Probably. I don't know.
You got like a video game controller mounted on that camera?
It helps
Stabilize.
stabilize it. So
Steadicam, isn't it?
the whole thing's a Steadicam, but if you're walking with it, you'll still get that bob. But if you have something that just helps stabilize it, smooths it right out. That way I don't have to smooth it out in post.
That's cool.
I was trying something new. I'm going to move the
Fan
camera
like
around
that.
a bit more and just try to be more interesting.
You turn into a drone.
What's that?
Do they use drones in small spaces like this?
Well, no, not like this. But they'll do it through like real estate walkthroughs.
Let's say you wouldn't want it here because you'd pick it up on the microphone, but
That too.
Scott would frown on that if there was a giant drone flying in the studio.
Yeah, I would imagine that'd be no bueno.
remember when there was a giant camera on the wall behind your head?
There was.
Yeah, there was.
From Channel 6 had one mounted on that board up there. It was huge.
Really? And I wonder why they got rid of it. Then again, I know that we're at odds with, well, we're on Uncut, never mind.
I actually need this to come down because now it's covering Trenton. And then you can
Is it covered by mole? Nobody knows.
Nope. What mall? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What mole?
What mall?
So, first we'll just ask you to tell us about your position, and then just a quick overview, and then we'll go into the questions and stuff like that.
Okay.
If we have time in the second segment, is there specific things within affordable housing or any other pet projects or just things that you find fascinating?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, certainly, I think talking about affordable housing would be a big thing. We're excited about that because the streetcar is not only paying for itself, but it's doing what we said it would do, and it's paying for now $40 million worth of affordable housing and $10 million worth of bikeways, and so, starting to pay for more things within the broader urban core area.
And we can talk about that it's parts of it are taking a little bit longer than we thought, which that always happens with big projects. There can be things that...
I mean, in terms of construction of the streetcar
construction, the utilities, and...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when the decision was made to basically replace all of the utilities in both Farnham and Hardy and the whole corridor...
And that, up front, that wasn't envisioned.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Can we ask if there's an update on extending out to UNMC?
Sure. We can talk about that. I mean, there's not much I can say about it other than we want to do that, and we're working with them on how we might do that.
I just think a lot of people think
10
that's
seconds.
a very logical end for the first phase, so they want to see it.
Totally agree.
All right, here we go.
Our coverage of the funeral of Charlie Kirk starts with a 1-hour retrospective of his life at noon, and the service is at 1, right here tomorrow on News Radio 1110.
And welcome back to the Grow Omaha Show. There is only economic development, commercial radio, or commercial real estate show. And it's brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Jeff Beals has a well-deserved weekend off, and the very capable Brad Williams is my co-host. And we are joined by Steve Jensen from the city of Omaha. And I have a challenge for everybody. A couple weeks ago, I said we need people to sign up for our newsletter, Brad. And right now, we're closing in on 60,000 Facebook followers. I know everybody has the newsletter. They've signed up for the newsletter. It's free. We have 14 contributors. We cover everything but crime, politics, and religion. So it's the stuff you want to hear. And all the time, we get feedback that people are like, I don't need that other newspaper. I don't want to pay $40 a month. Everything here is free. And we keep adding segments. It's all brief. Share it with your friends. So all you have to do is go first, last name, and your email address. We send you one email in your inbox. And then also every day we have new briefs at growomaha.com. And today, if you go to the Facebook page and just like us, we're going to have 60,000 people within the next couple days. And I give everyone credit, and we appreciate your accolades, and we promise to continue to deliver the facts, cut the fat, and allow you to have great information for you, your salespeople, and your friends.
So while the newsletter is every Thursday, the Facebook page and the website are updated multiple times a day. So if you want fresh breaking news, that's a good place to find it.
Absolutely. And that reminds me, an important announcement. Jeff, who very ably gets our email out on time for the newsletter, the Grow Omaha newsletter, I want you all to know, and if not, we're going to get a lot of hate mail, is next week, for only probably the second time in our history of the newsletter, it's coming out on Friday, September 26th, not the usual Thursday. So Thursday afternoon, just remember and spread the word that it will come out on Friday. The streetcar is in everybody's mind, and Steve Jensen, who started as an intern with the city of Omaha in 1972 when I was 3, has just been an amazing person to champion Omaha's growth. He knows where everything is buried, not just the bodies. And Steve, give us a quick overview of your position in John Ewing's office and what your charge is with the streetcar.
Well, primarily, I work on projects that are in the urban core, and then also work on the streetcar. I'm on the Omaha Streetcar Authority board as well, and so I'm also representing the city in that way. So primarily, those are the things I work on. I do work on projects across the city, but those are the areas that I focus on.
So what is the? There's been some talk about the streetcar. Maybe it's going to take a little bit longer than we thought. Is there? It's now going to open. The first cars are going to be out of the barn in 2028, right?
Well, the cars will end up being delivered in beginning in late in 27, so we can begin testing and so forth. But we'll be operating. The target date now is basically Labor Day of 2028.
And it's taking a little longer because?
Well, it's taking longer because when we decided to essentially completely replace all of the gas, water, sewer lines, all of the infrastructure, underground infrastructure, when the decision was made to do that, it added about a year to the construction project. It's added a lot of disruption. But the good news is once that's done, we won't have to worry about line breaks or cave-ins or other things that might happen.
Like I just sold a building, 29th and Harney, and those bridges are so old that when you guys got into the investigation and everything, I can see why now is the time to do it.
Well, the state has a plan to replace those I-480 bridges over a period of time. And so these bridges would have been replaced sometime in the next 10 years or so. And so this was a good time to get that done. Again, another major project that has, that adds to that timeline.
When the streetcar was first announced, there was a lot of criticism and public questioning of it. Have you started to see, as we're seeing actual construction now, has that tide started to change where people are less critical and more excited about it?
Well, I hope so. I think that, there's just been a lot of misunderstanding of what we're doing, why we're doing it, how it's being paid for. So I think, as we have been out and talking to people and trying to help them understand, I hope that they now have a better handle on why we're doing the streetcar. But I think for those people who, I guess, live in the urban core, who often come to the urban core for events and so forth, I think it probably is starting to make a little more sense. So I hope that that tide is changing. But like a lot of other major projects, we had criticism when we did the Arena Convention Center, when we did the Bob Carey Bridge, when we did the ballparks. And so I think as once it's up and operating and people see the benefits of it, I think that they'll come around and they'll understand the benefit.
We had Eric Miller on a couple of months ago, and one of the points that I brought up with him was, people are very critical about this, saying, I live in West Omaha, I'm never going to use it. But, we have pools all over town. Not everyone swims. We have libraries. I understand not everyone wants to go check out a book. We have city golf courses. Not everyone golfs. This is just another part of making Omaha a complete city and having something for everyone and things to attract certain people. There's not one size fits all for city amenities, and this is just another, piece of that puzzle.
True. I think the other thing too is that people don't understand that in our downtown, from the 1960s until when we looked at it in about 2015, we'd lost 21,000 jobs in downtown. We'd also reached a point where we devoted about 50% of the land in downtown to parking. And about 50% of that parking sat vacant at any given point in time. So one of the things I think that people don't understand is that the purpose of the streetcar primarily is to be able to change that parking dynamic so that we make better use of the land in downtown. There was just shy, it was about $3.8 billion worth of value in the corridor of the streetcar. We will add about $4 billion, so we'll about double that over a 15-year period. We'll almost quadruple that value in that corridor over a 30-year period. So when you think about adding to the tax base of the city and the increased value, it's all about expanding the tax base. And the more we can expand the tax base, the more it benefits the city as a whole. So it really is about maximizing the square footage, if you will, of the space we have in downtown, and then the tax revenue that comes from that. I think one other thing I'll throw in there, and if you look at the downtown area and you go back to, say, the 1950s, virtually every square inch of downtown had a building that was paying taxes. When you look at that same area today, it is not the same thing. And so you have a lot of land devoted to parking that's not paying taxes. That's not only a bad thing for the city and the county and so forth, but when you think about it, the school district, the OPS school district, is the biggest recipient of property taxes. So being able to quadruple the tax base in that downtown area without adding a lot of kids will really be a benefit to OPS as much as anybody else.
Good stuff. When we come back after the break, we're going to have the Noddle Development Spotlight, but we're also going to continue our discussion with Steve Jensen with the mayor's office. And you are listening to Trenton Magid, Brad Williams, and Steve Jensen right here on 1110 KFAB, the Grow Omaha Show. Yeah, it goes fast. And what do you guys think about,
Be back in a minute.
you know, every time like a hospital, because UNMC doesn't pay taxes, right?
Right.
And, you know, West Side School District, when
HDR left.
yeah,
Crossroads got torn down.
well, like, for instance, even Leo A. Daley was donated to children's,
Yeah.
and, you know, that hurts
Well,
West Side.
donated that.
That's West Side, isn't it?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And,
Oh, yeah.
so you're right that, you know, and I know that there's a big philanthropist that really wants to do the Capital District and the Capital, what do they call that? Capital District or no, not Capital, the Civic Square.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Finder service can help you troubleshoot the likely
Yeah,
cause of your
I cannot wait till those parking lots right there by the north side of the old market are filled in.
Yeah.
It just, it's such a, I mean, an eyesore, like you said, they don't bring in tax money, but they're just dead. Like, they don't add to the vibrancy of downtown at all.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So when we come back, I'm gonna do the Noddle Development Spotlight, and this is where we'll talk about fly together, and I want both of you guys to chime in. I'll go over this short part, and then because that's 600, and then we really want to tailor it towards the walkability to the Noddle's project.
Mm-hmm.
I've really gotten to know Sam well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good friend, and I, you know, he compliments Jay really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And totally different style, very humble guy.
I had a great time talking to him at the West Side Golf tournament that I went to you with the dinner. Yeah.
I sponsor the West Side alumni.
Oh,
I don't play. I just go for the. I was a little upset they didn't have the same stakes they had the year before. You were there the year before, right?
Yeah.
And so may have to give more money or something. I don't know. I joke because the Hawkins sisters sponsored it for years and years and years, and my joke is they must have run out of money or something. But given what they just spent on, or what the city of Omaha just spent on my 168th Street to go out of my house, I think they'll be just fine.
They still own that house. I don't know who lives there, but right across from West Side, one of the Hawkins.
Oh, you're kidding?
Big house on the corner.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's quite a different look when you drive down 168th now from Center to Q.
I was trying to remember like where the street was before. I need to look at the picture of the aerials, and that park is awesome. Now I wish they put the concrete all the way around the park. But they finally got that. They finally got that play area done. It took a while.
There's some parks in West Omaha and some of these subdivisions, the subdivisions pay for, that are just incredible. I mean, they spare no expense. Out there at the prairies, which is kind of behind the old skyline.
Right.
They had the Omaha Parks Foundation help them raise money, and this thing is just these huge stone walls, and the slides start up on top of the wall and go down into the playground's like sunken in, so the neighbors can't hear all the noise.
Smart. So here's an interesting question for you. I've got a client who's their family's house sits on like 10 acres, and they've got about 80 acres. It's in Sarpy County, and I'm going after the listing, and they want to keep the family house that their parents built, and they're like, there's sentimental value, and it's a nice house, but they're like, well, can't that be converted into a clubhouse with a common amenity, maybe at a pool or something like that? And the city is telling them that would be commercial zoning, which is interesting, different municipality, obviously, and I'm thinking, why not just keep the house and use it as a house within the neighborhood. Like, and I said, it's really up to the developer who's buying it. These aren't developers. These are siblings that have been around and have great intentions. But if I go to market with an 80-acre parcel and they want, you know what I'm talking about, if no developer is going to say, I want to take this, I'm going to take this house and turn it into a common amenity and get people to pay for it. Do you see that at all? Where, I mean,
No.
first of all, you'd build a clubhouse, the common amenity for single family housing.
Yeah.
This is houses for rent. This is single family housing. Does it make sense to you?
I think that'd be hard to do. I mean,
To
because
pay for it, to convert it,
Yeah.
because it's not a clubhouse now.
Yeah.
But don't you think the best way to do it is if you can fit it into? This is one thing we didn't talk about when you laid that out.
You put it off at its own big parcel, right?
Yeah. Well, you could do estate lots or something on one side, but that doesn't make sense.
I mean, I've seen it done with apartment complex,
Right.
but I haven't seen it done with.
Well, there's homes for rents, like what Schlossberg's doing by Applied Underwriters on 204th
Okay.
and Center. They've got that huge, unbelievable, like detached apartments, basically.
Yeah.
And that I'm sure has common amenities.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different product.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's they're asking like, what does it cost to convert? I'm like, I haven't been in the house, and good people asking good questions. It just, I'm not sure.
There are neighborhoods that have a clubhouse and pool in them, though.
Yeah.
Well, but generally those end up being part of some other, public project or something, someplace that where you can get the revenue. I mean, I think about how, neighborhoods that have just the common open space when you drive in. It's hard enough to get people to pay their dues to maintain that.
Right. And, you're forced to pay dues, then you might live it. But it's really up for the developer. I'm telling you, so you can put all the restrictions you want,
Yeah.
but it also will affect the price, and you're going to lose some developers. I'd rather have a qualified developer, let them tell you what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So it's just first for me.
Just before I forget again, you were going to send me an email on a lot that you had on Maple.
Yeah, that's
30 seconds.
With the client. Yeah.
I should have brought my 360 camera in.
All right, 10 seconds.
It's in the car.
Brand new.
What?
Brand new.
No, I've had it a little while. Been fun to play with. Bill said something funny.
Here comes the bumper.
Thanks, Gary. Welcome back to the Grow Omaha Show, sponsored by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. I'm Trenton Magid. Jeff Beals will be here next week. I am joined by Brad Williams and Steve Jensen with the City of Omaha. We've been talking about the streetcar, and Steve is in charge of a lot of the different aspects from the city's purview. And we left off talking about we left talking about the work that needs to be done on the streetcar. What is are we within budget?
Yeah, the city council authorized spending up to $440 million for the streetcar. We announced last summer that we were at $421 million, and that includes all of that utility work we talked about earlier. We have, since that time, approved a couple of contracts. We have a few more to approve at next month's OSA board meeting. At that point, we'll pretty much have the contracts done, and we will be well below that 440.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were getting ready to read something. So initially the plan was the streetcar was going to go all the way to the med center, and then it kind of got pulled back just a little bit while they're still kind of planning on how that med center tie in. Do you have an update on that, or is that still in the works or still in planning?
Yeah, we're continuing to talk with the Med Center and looking at ways in which we could extend it to the Med Center. We think that's important in terms of being able to make that connection. The Med Center folks would also like to do that. Of course, the way we're funding it is through the increased development and the increased taxes that come from that new development. Med Center doesn't pay property taxes, so that gives us a little different twist. So we're looking at ways that we might be able to finance that extension, and we're talking to them about how we might do that.
I guess I never thought about that part of it, where the TIF would not apply to the Med Center, so that makes a little more sense.
Right. Makes it a little more challenging.
Yes.
Steve, how certain are you that the streetcar will not add more cost to the city? The city has budgeted.
Well, we had originally projected, had hired a company to do projections for the development along the route of the streetcar over a 15-year period. They projected about $2 billion in total over a 15-year period. We already have over $1.3 billion worth of projects in the pipeline, over 3,200 housing units. We have already seen a tremendous amount of development, which we knew we would see. At the rate that we are going, we project now that we will have $4 billion worth of development along the route over that 15-year period. That actually generates almost $1 billion in additional property tax revenue. It's enough to finance about $550 million in bonds. And as I said, we're only using about $440 for the streetcar. And so, yes, we're well on track in terms of development and how we would pay for it. So there's no money coming from property outside that corridor. There's no citywide tax rate increase or taxes being used. Only the multifamily and commercial properties within 7 blocks of the streetcar itself, those are the only properties that are paying for the streetcar. And so basically, if you don't own an office building or an apartment complex within 7 blocks of the streetcar, you're not paying for it.
And there's a lot of accomplished developers that have stepped up, a lot of them local, that these are expensive projects. They understand what they're doing. The bond council, the people that handle TIF with the city of Omaha, Bridget Hadley, who is awesome and has been doing it for a long time. It's amazing because people don't realize that if we don't have a strong urban core, we don't have anything. And you've gone to cities, and you've seen some of that in Denver and a bunch of other cities where you have a lot of empty office buildings, and people are shying away. They're building things outside the urban core where, First National did it with their tower and some of their other buildings, and now Mutual of Omaha has stepped up. And these could have been a lot less than $600 million to build that tower if it was a campus out west or anywhere. And good stakeholders realize that we need employees, we need everybody down there, and the streetcar is kind of what ties it all together.
Correct. Yeah. I think, as you mentioned, when cities reach the point at which they can't expand at the edge, which Omaha will do in about 2050, you have a fixed tax base. And when you have that fixed tax base, but you have aging infrastructure that's requiring more and more money, and your taxable value on that property is not going up as quickly as it did when it was new, you really don't have much of a choice. You have to go back to that urban core area where you can increase the value and basically bake a bigger pie to help pay for the costs that you have. So absolutely, it's critical that we revitalize and continue to grow in our urban core. Because we'll reach a point where we can't expand at the edge and capture that value.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. Let's switch gears a little bit. But speaking of the urban core, it is time for the Noddle Development Spotlight of the Week. And this is a huge announcement by Creighton University. We talk about projects associated with Noddle, and who's one of the most prolific developers in the Midwest, Exarban Village, Kiewit headquarters, Builders District, Valmont headquarters back in the day, First National Business Park, just to name a few. Fly Together is a nearly $300 million investment in Creighton athletics and recreation through new and upgraded facilities across 17th Street from the Rising Builders District and Kiewit Corporation's headquarters. Entirely donor-funded, Fly Together has launched a $100 was launched with a $100 million gift with the Hyder Family Foundation, the largest gift in Creighton's history. Charles and Mary Hyder, who have been huge philanthropists throughout their lifetimes. Now it's headed by Scott Hyder, and I'm sure, Steve, you remember we used to work with Scott Hyder, who was a very capable office leasing agent and consultant, does what we do, and he did a great job, and we thank Scott for leading the Family Foundation. $100 million, largest ever in Creighton history. Fly Together connects Creighton universities to the Builders District, a 10-block urban village totaling more than $650 million in private development, anchored by Kiewit Corporation's headquarters. Fly Together's blending of the university with the rising mixed-use district gives Creighton students something they've never had before: a city campus, merging Creighton's academic, recreational, social life with new bustling hub of retail, dining, nightlife, entertainment, hotel, and office space. As the developer of the Builders District, the Nodal Companies partners with the district partners on the district with the City of Omaha, Union Pacific, and Kiewit Corporation, and that the vision that all these stakeholders have is just incredible. And Creighton has just taken over the world. I mean, to get $100 million, to raise another $200 million, scholarships. What are your takes, Steve, on that Cumming Street corridor and what you've seen it over the last 20 years?
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, if you go back 20 years or more ago, I mean, it was really a truck route, and it was a route to the airport, and you saw some industrial uses, and that's completely changed now. So now it becomes a great front door for Creighton. And this latest expansion to the east and connecting to Builders District, and then, of course, the Builders District itself, and that connection on to the ballpark and the Arena Convention Center, that area between Cumming and I-480 overpasses is just booming right now.
What we didn't see 20 years ago is these districts and these projects. They didn't talk to each other. The say like Civic Square and the Builders District and the Capital District and Creighton University. Now they get in the same room and make sure they complement each other instead of just compete with each other.
Sure. And I think that's, again, one of the great things we have going in the city is that we have all of these districts and across all the way from UNMC to the riverfront and then to the north. And it's great to be able to connect all of them and bring them all together so it becomes kind of a seamless transition from one to the other.
That's great stuff. And unfortunately, we have to go to one more break, ladies and gentlemen. It's a short one. Great stuff about the Streetcar with Steve Jensen. You're listening to Trenton Magid and Brad Williams right here on Grow Omaha, 1110 KFAB. We will have the lightning round next, brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction.
The nice thing about a lot of those districts, too, is they have kind of like an event coordinator, that keep them programmed and active. And, with the park, the riverfront, they have all that programmed. I mean, it keeps people coming down and
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the riverfront, I mean, they have $6 million a year, which is a huge amount of money for 3 parks to
That's their budget?
and activate them. Yeah. It was a 10-year commitment by the major corporations in downtown and then the city. So $3 million from the city, $3 million from those corporations.
Could you imagine,
over 10 years.
like, I think Walter Scott and Suzanne Scott, if they didn't I'm sure somebody else would have, but if they hadn't lit the Bob Carey Bridge,
Yeah.
like that would.
Yeah, I mean,
That's right.
it all these things.
So
become
when I give you
iconic.
1 minute, that's to music. That's
How long of music is there?
The music is 35 seconds, so it'll be 1 minute to music, and then the music will play, and then that'll be the close.
Are you happy with what we covered?
Sure. Whatever you want to
We
talk
can't
about.
change it, so we're good.
Yeah.
I meant to do it at the beginning, but hopefully we put it right. Sorry to catch you off guard.
No, that's fine. I just noticed you skipped it.
Yeah.
And then when I pointed
That's
on
good.
it, I thought you
I was
were
like,
going to
there's
read
no going back. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. Yeah. The bridge. Is there ever a plan to wrap that into the riverfront, or is that always going to be a separate entity?
wrap it in terms of
Maintenance.
No, it'll be a separate entity.
It's. I just noticed that
Which bridge?
the pedestrian bridge. There's some areas that need paint, and there's some graffiti and things, and some of the lights are not working. That's why I just wondered if, just for maintenance reasons, since they're right there with the shop, if they would ever take that over.
Yeah, I mean, it's, where do you stop?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it is, the parks, the donors are actually.
All right, guys, 10 seconds.
Parks too, so it'll be maintaining parks is another donor.
You got your lighting on?
Yeah, right here.
Where's the rest of it?
All right, here comes the bumper.
Okay, here. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Omaha Show, sponsored by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. I'm Trenton Magid, and this is Brad Williams, filling in for Jeff Beals, who will be here next week. It is time for the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, where we talk about a lot of stuff in a fast-paced environment. And Perkins Kreitzer Construction is a full-service Class A general contractor based in Omaha that serves Omaha, Lincoln, Council Bluffs, and surrounding areas. Please go to p-cconstruction.com and check out their several projects. They have experienced construction team of project managers, project administrators, superintendents, carpenters, and laborers, many with over 30 years of experience. They're a commercial general contractor that works on projects from small renovations and repairs to multi-million-dollar new developments. Experience healthcare, retail, office, educational, religious, industrial, and financial institutions and restaurants. You see their signs around the market. Well, Brad, Williamsburg Pizza, a New York-based chain, plans to open a second location north of 156th and Maple, right next to a, what's the coffee place?
Stories.
Yeah, Stories Coffee, on September 23rd, following a hood system issue delay. The brand opened its first non-New York location in Omaha in 2023 near 168th and Harrison. And fun fact, an Omaha native, there's probably 5 locations in Williamsburg. An Omaha native started this chain, so that might explain
Started the chain in New York,
Yes.
and then brought the concept back to Omaha. That's really cool.
You got to love it.
So the Fuel Bar, a shake and tea shop, opened September 13th at 7799 L Street in Ralston. The menu includes meal replacement shakes, energy teas, protein coffees, and snacks.
If you're wondering what's going up, right next to Home 2 Suites near 180th and Burke, you can see it very well from 180th. You can also see it from West Dodge Road. It's a new construction. It's an 8,000 square foot Twin Peaks National Sports Bar chain. I happened to pick that site out and sold the land to the new owners. It's 313 North 179th Street in Village Point West. Much of it is already enclosed. They're going to have a huge patio. They have a scratch kitchen, and they should be open by the end of the year. The previous restaurant wasn't a true Twin Peaks, for the record. It was a converted Famous Dave's out on West Center Road. So let's say that doesn't count. And the food is great. And the nearest Twin Peaks to Omaha is Kansas City.
So we head over to Council Bluffs, and Council Bluffs' only Runza at 2146 West Broadway reopened this week after being closed since March for a full teardown and rebuild. I was actually over there Monday and Tuesday, the opening 2 days, to photograph the building. And it's really nice, very nice, warm, bright. And I actually got to see how they make runzas, so that was pretty cool. It's like a bucket
How the
list.
sausage is made, or how the runza is made?
How the runza is made.
So I've done a couple runs of locations, and their head of real estate is Dan Rudolph, and I can't say enough nice things. Dan Rudolph serves the family, the Everett family, and he's been there a long time. So cheers to Dan Rudolph. You're doing a great job of filling out these markets. The UPS store in Great Clips plans to open next to each other at 18870 Oakmont Drive in a recently constructed retail center just east of the world's largest Hy-Vee in Gretna, which is 192nd and Highway 370. The center is already home to Bissou Nail Salon.
Felis Cat Cafe and Rescue has taken over a coffee bar operation from Bad Seed Coffee and Supply. Two organizations shared the space in a building at 5015 Dodge Street. Felis is stepping in to continue offering drinks and pastries while maintaining its nonprofit mission, creating meaningful connections between people and rescue cats. All proceeds from the coffee bar help fund cat adoption efforts.
I don't know if you've been there, but my wife loves it, and we're cat people. We're as they say, between cats. We're either mourning a cat or two, or we're scared to like have the maintenance and make sure we take care of the cat well. But here's an opportunity for people to go to Felius and not have to own a cat. So call it a timeshare cat, if you will. The Camp Blackstone has gotten some press lately. This was the food hall at 3618 Farnham Street. Recently closed its doors permanently. The locally owned business had several quick serve restaurants concepts, including Hola Sol, Taco Company, Nice Rolls, and Single Double. I want to remind everyone again that due to unavoidable scheduling issues, next week's newsletter will be released Friday, September 26th instead of Thursday afternoon. So just tell your friends and family about that. We appreciate everyone. Thank you, Steve Jensen, for being on the show. Thank you, Brad Williams. And we'll be right here next week at 1110 KFAB. Thank you.
All right. That went by faster than normal. It always goes by faster.
Yeah.
Today was even worse.